My dad refused to fund my business, so I started it without him. He begged for forgiveness when I made millions, but I just smiled and walked away. Hey there guys, Zara here, and welcome back to another amazing episode of Tea Time with Zara. I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. Hey everyone, I'm Emily, and I've got to vent about some family drama that's been eating me up. I'm 28, and I've been working on setting up my own business for a while now. My brother Alex, who's 30, has been talking about his business ideas too. We both pitched our plans to our dad, Richard, who's a pretty successful businessman himself. Now, here's where things get messy. So we were all at this super fancy dinner the other night, celebrating my dad's latest business deal. Out of nowhere, he announces that he's going to invest a hefty sum into Alex's new business venture. I was shocked and hurt because when I had asked him to consider investing in my business idea, he brushed it off without much thought. After the dinner, I couldn't hold back anymore. I confronted my dad and straight up accused him of playing favorites. I mean, why else would he back Alex's idea without giving mine a second glance? His response was like a slap in the face. He told me that he didn't think I had the business sense to succeed. That hurt a lot. I was so angry and upset that I just stormed out of there. I went straight to my partner, Jordan, who's been my rock through all of this. Jordan listened and then told me something that really stuck with me. He said that I don't need my dad's approval or money to make my business work. I just need to believe in myself and prove him wrong. That got me thinking, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to start my business without any help from my dad. My mom, Laura, has been quietly supportive of me. She's always known about the favoritism, but never really said anything out loud. This time, though, she told me she believes in me and that she's got my back. Turns out, my dad's investment in Alex's business is actually super risky. It's tied to a market that's known for its ups and downs, and I'm not sure if he's made the right call. Meanwhile, I've been working my butt off, and my business is slowly starting to get noticed. We've even got some media attention, which is pretty exciting. But my dad can't seem to handle it. He's started spreading rumors about me and my business to our social circles, trying to undermine my efforts. It's so petty, and it's just making things worse between us. At a recent social event, I had enough of his antics and confronted him right there in front of his fancy friends. It was intense, and he was clearly embarrassed, but I had to stand up for myself. And then, just when I thought things couldn't get more dramatic, my mom drops a bombshell. She pulls me aside and tells me she's thinking about divorcing my dad. She's fed up with his behavior and the way he's always favored Alex over me. I never saw that coming, and it just adds a whole new layer to the family chaos. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, trying to build my business and deal with a family that's falling apart. Thanks for letting me get this off my chest. Update 1. A lot has happened since my last update, and I've got to get this off my chest. So my dad's investment in my brother's business? It's tanking. Hard. The market he tied his money to is all over the place, and it's not looking good. Meanwhile, my own business is ending the life of it. We're growing, getting noticed, and honestly, it feels amazing to be succeeding on my own terms. But get this, my brother Alex comes knocking, asking for financial help. He's sweating bullets over the money pit that is his company. I couldn't believe the nerve of him. After standing by Dad's side, never once defending me, he expects me to bail him out? I told him no. It was tough, but I had to stand my ground. Then I find out Dad's been sneaking around trying to buy out my business partners behind my back. He's trying to worm his way into controlling my company. It's like he can't stand to see me succeed without him. It's messed up. In the midst of all this chaos, Jordan, my rock, proposes. He wants us to be partners in life and business, and I said yes. We decided to throw a party to celebrate our engagement and the success of my business. It was supposed to be a happy occasion. But of course, Dad had to show up, uninvited. He tried to smooth things over, offering a half-hearted apology in front of all my guests. I wasn't having any of it. I rejected his apology right there, and he left with his tail between his legs. It felt good to stand up for myself, but it was also super awkward. Mom pulled me aside during the party. She told me she's proud of me and hinted that she's made up her mind about leaving Dad. I could see the resolve in her eyes. She's been unhappy for so long, and it's like she's finally ready to choose her own happiness. Just when I thought things couldn't get more dramatic, Alex's business completely falls apart. He's furious, blaming Dad for giving him terrible advice and blaming me for not helping him when he asked. It's a mess, and I feel bad for him, but he made his bed. And here's the kicker. We find out Dad has a serious gambling problem. That's why he's been so desperate for money, trying to get his hands on my business, and why he invested in Alex's shaky venture. It's like the foundation of our family is just crumbling away. I'm still processing all of this. It's a lot to take in, but I'm focusing on my business, my future with Jordan, and trying to navigate this crazy family drama. It's not easy, but I'm determined to come out of this stronger. Update 2. A lot has happened, so let's get right into the update. So my dad's gambling debts went public. It was all over the local news, and people in our community wouldn't stop talking about it. His reputation took a nosedive, and I could tell it was eating him up inside. But honestly, I had mixed feelings about it. Part of me felt bad for him, but another part of me remembered all the times he put my brother before me, and it was hard to fully sympathize. On a brighter note, my business received an amazing offer from a major investor. It was the kind of validation I'd been craving, especially after my dad doubted my abilities. It felt incredible to know that someone with that much influence believed in what I was doing. Meanwhile, my mom finally had enough of my dad's antics. She moved out of the family home, and it was a big deal because they'd been together for so long. But she seemed happier, more at peace, and I was really proud of her for taking that step. Jordan and I started planning our wedding. We decided we didn't want or need any financial help from our families. We wanted it to be about us and our love, not about who could contribute what. Dad tried to reconcile with Mom, but she wasn't having any of it. She told him she wanted to live her life independently, without his drama. I admired her strength and determination to find her own happiness. Despite everything that happened with my brother Alex, I couldn't just leave him high and dry. I helped him find a job. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was a start, and he was grateful for the help. But then I found out my dad sold off some family heirlooms to pay off his debts. Heirlooms that were supposed to be mine. I was furious. We had a huge fight about it, and I told him I was done with him. I couldn't keep dealing with his betrayals. Jordan was there for me, like always. He agreed with my decision to cut ties with my dad. We both knew we needed to focus on our future together, not on the drama my dad kept creating. Just when I thought things couldn't get more complicated, this mysterious person approached me out of nowhere. They claimed they knew something dark about my dad's past. I didn't know what to make of it, but it was clear that my dad's past was even more troubled than I thought. So that's where things stand right now. It's been a roller coaster, but I'm looking forward to the future with Jordan and the success of my business. Whatever this secret is about my dad, I'll deal with it when the time comes. For now, I'm just focusing on the good things in my life. Update 3. Hey everyone, a lot has happened, so let's get right into the update. So I've been digging into the claims made by this mysterious person who approached me recently, and it turns out my dad, Richard, was indeed involved in some seriously shady business deals in the past. I was shocked, to say the least. I mean, I knew he wasn't perfect, but this was a whole other level of deceit. I was torn up about what to do with this information. On one hand, I could expose him and potentially protect others from getting hurt by his actions. But on the other hand, I was worried about dragging our family name through the mud even more than it already had been. While I was dealing with this moral tug-of-war, my mom, Laura, was out there living her best life. She's really come into her own since leaving my dad. She's been taking classes, exploring new hobbies, and just generally thriving away from all the drama. It's been amazing to see her so happy. In the midst of all this, my brother Alex came to me with a heartfelt apology for how he acted in the past. He was really sincere, and I could tell he regretted not supporting me when I needed him. We've been working on mending our relationship, and it feels good to have my brother back. Then came the big day, my wedding with Jordan. It was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives, a celebration with our closest friends and family. Everything was going perfectly until my dad showed up uninvited, making a scene. He was begging for forgiveness, pleading for a chance to be part of my life again. It was so awkward, and I felt my stomach knot up seeing him there. But I stood my ground. I couldn't let him ruin this day for me and Jordan. We had worked too hard to get to this point. Despite the hiccup, the wedding was beautiful. My mom gave the most touching speech about new beginnings and love, and there wasn't a dry eye in the place. It was a moment I'll never forget. After everything that's happened, I made the decision not to expose my dad's past. I realized that seeking revenge wouldn't bring me any peace or happiness. Instead, I chose to focus on the beautiful life Jordan and I are building together. But just when I thought the drama was over, something happened at the end of the wedding that I still can't quite process. Right after the ceremony, my dad collapsed, clutching his chest. It was terrifying. Everyone rushed to help, and an ambulance was called. It was a stark reminder of how quickly things can change. So, that's where things stand right now. It's been a roller coaster, but I'm hopeful for the future. I'm just going to keep focusing on the positives and the love surrounding me. Last update, thank you for all the advice. Hey everyone, I'm back with another update on the family drama, and boy, it's been a whirlwind. So my dad, Richard, had a heart attack at my wedding. It was terrifying. We rushed him to the hospital, and the doctor said it was serious. I was a mess of emotions, angry but also scared I might lose him. After he stabilized, I went to see him. We were alone in the hospital room, and it was the first time in a long time we actually talked. Like, really talked. He admitted to everything. The favoritism, the gambling, trying to sabotage my business. He looked so frail and broken, not at all like the overpowering figure I grew up with. He said he was sorry, and I could tell he meant it. It wasn't easy, but I forgave him. I needed to for my own peace of mind. But I also told him I needed to keep my distance. I've worked too hard to build a life that's not overshadowed by his mistakes. Later, Mom and Alex came to visit him too. It was awkward at first, but there was this moment where everyone just let go of the past grievances. It felt like maybe, just maybe, we could start to heal as a family. In the midst of all this, my business got featured in a major magazine. They called me a self-made success, which felt amazing. It was like all my hard work was finally being recognized on a big scale. Jordan and I went on our honeymoon, and when we got back, we found out that my business had blown up. Orders were through the roof, social media was buzzing. It was more than I could have ever hoped for. Dad's been recovering, and he's been talking about living a simpler life, trying to fix the relationships he's damaged. It's going to be a long road for him, but I think he's sincere about changing. And then, Jordan and I got the best news. We're expecting a baby. We were over the moon, and I couldn't wait to share the news with everyone online. But here's the thing. After I posted about the pregnancy, I noticed something weird. There was this profile that kept popping up, liking the post and then disappearing. It gave me a creepy feeling, like someone was watching. The profile didn't have a real name, just a bunch of numbers and letters, and the profile picture was just a generic silhouette. I brushed it off as some random internet troll, but I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. Anyway, that's where things are at now. Life's been a roller coaster, but right now it's on the up and up. I'm focusing on the future, our growing family, and the business. Whatever comes next, I feel like we can handle it.